Hello. Okay, so I thought I would do a bit of give you a bit of information about what I do in my clinic, because I often talk about food and supplements and why you should, why an apple's good for you or whatever. But I don't think I've ever really talked about what I do at clinic. So as a nutritionist, I have a clinic on Harley Street, which is in London, and I do see clients outside in Gloucestershire and Oxfordshire, where I live. And basically, I love it. It's the sort of cornerstone of everything that I do. I see people from all different walks of life. I never know what's going to come through the door, and so I really enjoy it. It keeps me on my toes. It means that I have to sort of be on my game so that I can help whatever it is that comes through the door. I suppose a lot of people, one of the biggest things I see in clinic is fatigue. People are just exhausted and they're feeling pretty rubbish and they don't know why and they're fed up with it. And I deal with quite a few hormone problems. A lot of people are very stressed. I see people with skin issues, fertility issues, weight issues, gut issues, everything and anything you can possibly imagine. And often the people I see have been and tried every single other thing that they can do. They've tried Western medicine, they've tried everything, they've seen doctors, consultants, and nothing helps. And so sometimes I'm the last port of call, but usually and often it goes really well. So that's, it's a good news problem. So what happens is, people book in, and on the first appointment it's usually an hour and a half long, around that, an hour and a half, and people come and they book in, and then we sit and what we do is we go through a full medical history. It's quite an extensive procedure. So we go through, they come and they sit down, and we start off by talking about their medical history. We start off by talking about why they've come to see me, what they want to achieve. Then we go through medical history from a child. We go through, what medication they've taken, all that sort of stuff. Then we go through the body system, so your gastrointestinal system, your skeletal system, your nervous system, how you sleep, your endocrine system, how your hormones are working. We go through your menstrual cycles if you're a lady, and we talk about every single aspect, your circulation, how your skin is, how your hair is, how your emotions are, how you're feeling emotionally. It's quite extensive, quite in depth, so that I can get a picture of what's going on. What is the driver? What's causing are you tired because you've got a thyroid issue? Are you tired because because you're anemic? Are you tired because you're stressed and you're overworking? Are you tired because you're not getting enough food? Are you tired because you're eating really high sugar things and then having a dip? So we look at when the symptoms occur. And so we do that, and then I go through a food diary, which is always my great pleasure, and everybody else is like, oh, but actually they're not too bad. Well, every now and then they are. But so we do that, see what you're eating, if you need something else, what you're missing, if someone's drinking. I see loads of people who don't drink enough water, naughty, like people don't drink any water. And so we do that, and then what I do is then I look at how we're going to help, what support needs to be given, where it needs to be given, how we're going to do that. If we need to do tests like tolerance testing, or to do an adrenal stress test to see how stressed you are, or to do, you could do a stool test, which is joyous but it's really informative for me. It tells what bacteria is going on. You can do a urine test, saliva test, blood test. There's lots of tests you can do for lots of different things. I try to steer clear of testing if I can, only because it's really expensive to do testing, and you can get quite into testing if you want to. And then I'll set out. I'll try and guide you through what you should be eating, what you could eat more of to help balance out any issues, I think. And also I will prescribe supplements, and I can prescribe quite high supplements because of what I do. This is what I do. So, and usually I try and do it for a few months. I don't really believe in pill popping if you don't have to. There are some that are good for maintenance. Omega-3 is good for maintenance. B vitamin can be good for maintenance. And here comes a little dog. Hello. Yes, there she is. Red house. So that's what I do. And then usually I see some, I send people off. There are people who, something that's I seem to do quite a lot is to reset people by doing a bit of a, like a 2-week blast or something, or a month blast or something. Just to try to reset some systems in the body, especially hormone systems. And then I will see them again after about 6 weeks, 2 months, and see how it's going. What's, you know, if there's any improvement, and if there's not. Sometimes it can get very frustrating when I can't find out what it is, and nothing I do makes a difference. And sometimes it's time to pass it on to somebody else if it's something, you know. Sometimes I think herbologists are really better for some things, so I will suggest that. But a lot of the time I have really, you know, really great results, and I've had some wonderful, really lovely stories of people who just feel completely new, and you know, and that's why I love my job. This is why I love doing clinic. This is why it's important for me to do clinic, and this is why I love my job, because sometimes just changing what you eat, just, you know, because I think about food a lot, you sort of take it for granted that most people understand what I understand, but they, you know, lots of people don't, and they're trying really hard to do the right thing, but it's not necessarily quite the right thing for them. So a few changes here and there, and I've had some brilliant stories where people feel like a different person. I've had emails saying I feel like a different person. It's like night and day, and that's, you know, the power of food. So what you put in your mouth does really count, and it can make a huge difference. So if anybody would like to, I would thoroughly recommend seeing a nutritionist. Come and see me, but you could also just, you know, a nutritionist, they have a, you know, a huge amount of knowledge. We have a huge amount of knowledge, and it can make a really, really big difference to your well-being and to how you feel, and also to understanding your body, because I think part of what I try and do is to educate people, not to just, you know, say, oh, take that, you'll be better, but won't explain why. So, you know, I don't know, if you give a B vitamin, it's usually because someone's exhausted. If I give selenium, it might be because someone needs help with their thyroid. If I give probiotic, it's because someone's got gut issue. And I try to explain to people, you know, if I give something called 5-HTP, it's for somebody's mood. So you try to explain to people, I try to explain to people why and why they need it. And so if they're interested, they'll learn something on, you know, and they'll be able to keep that going on in the future. So that's it really, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know, and maybe see you in clinic sometime.